It's This Epic Disaster. Thank you for joining us on our new show. This show is going to be the show. It's a special show.
This is a really special show.
It's a very special Punky Brewster.
What?
I don't know.
Okay. Were you Punky Brewster for Halloween?
I was not. I was never Punky Brewster. I did go as a woman maybe a couple of times.
Yeah, but not Punky.
No. I was too old when Punky came out. That would have been weird.
I had friends who absolutely loved Punky Brewster when I was young, and the year that show came out, so many of them.
Yeah,
so many of them.
She's a cute little girl, and then she grew up to be a very cute.
Very cute older one, yes.
Still acting, I think. I don't know why we got on the Punky show.
Salil Moon Fry.
That's right. Well, I think we should start really quick with our live beer review.
Okay.
We got a special live beer review today, and we'll tell you why.
Oh,
yeah.
It's called.
See,
let's take a guess.
You didn't even look at it.
I didn't even look at it, and now that I have, I'm a little warm and fuzzy inside. It's called Pub Ale Bestie.
All right.
Although it's got a picture of a dog on it.
It's kind of your dog, and it's not really, but it's sort of.
Not really. This is more of a bulldog. Yeah. So this is by Wild Heaven Beer in Atlanta, and it's called, again, Bestie, and it's got 4.2% alcohol. And I guess it's a pub ale.
It's just going to taste like beer, I have a feeling.
It's just going to be beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was. I bought it for a reason. Should we talk about what the reason that I got it for?
While I open my beer, yes.
All right. So this particular podcast, we celebrate several things on different podcasts here and there. This podcast this week, Cheri and I celebrate 10 years that we've known each other.
Yep.
10 freaking years. It does not seem like it.
It doesn't seem
in a
like
way.
it.
In some ways it does. But
in some ways it feels like forever.
But 10 years, October 15th anniversary, when we first met in the flesh.
In person.
In the flesh.
Because we've known each other and spoken to each other ever since July the 4th of 2009.
That's correct.
But we first met in person on October 15th in 2009. And this comes out on... No, this comes out the day before October 15th.
Well, it comes out the week. Let's just say
the week of
yeah.
October 15th, 2019.
Yeah, because you never know when people are going to be listening to it. But I don't know. It's normally, other times we may have mentioned when it's our anniversary, but we haven't actually celebrated. We're celebrating this time because 10 years.
10 years.
You got to do 10, and that's kind of a long time. So cheers.
Cheers to you.
Bestie beer, since we're bestie friends, and we do a podcast together. All friends should do podcasts together, I think.
I think so too, because it gives you a good excuse to meet often, so you don't lose touch with each other.
I'm gonna take a sip here. Let me describe. It's a little cloudy. That's kind of a good thing. It looks like a beer.
It's a pretty color.
Cloudy
it
beer.
looks like a Pilsner. It looks like a.
It smells like it's just gonna be a regular beer.
And I tasted it, and I'm actually it's a good beer. I would have this at a pub. It's called a pub ale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's flavorful. It's not nasty.
No. We'll talk about what we think at the end of the show. If you joining us for the first time, which I think there might be a few people joining us for the first time, and I hope there are. What we do is we do a live beer review. So we have a beer every show, and then at the end of the show, we will tell you what we think of it.
And we'll rate it. Now, we've been doing, what is this, 91 episodes or 92?
No, keep going. We're at 95.
We're at 95.
We're at episode 95. 5 more episodes. We're in triple dig.
And we release once a week, so that's 95 weeks we've been doing this.
Oh, and then before that?
And before that, we had a different podcast.
And it went on and on and on.
On and on.
I would like...
But just so you know, you don't have to listen to every single podcast to find out what we think of all 95 beers.
No.
Because our good friend Jax created a database on our website that you can find going to thisepicdisaster.com and click on the menu, and you will see beer review, live beer review. Click on that, and it's an entire database of every beer we've tried and what we think, because our thoughts matter.
I'm behind a couple of episodes. I need to put those up. But yeah, everything, and you kind of see. And then at some point, I'm going to put all of the previous podcast beers up, because we started this Life to Kill podcast. We started doing the live beer review.
Yeah.
And then we picked it up for this one. So now you know.
Now you know.
All right. what are we going to talk about on this particular? Oh, well, let's do a little game, shall we?
Okay.
Something else we do every show. It's a conversation starter. And we don't know anything about these questions. We have a little game. It's called Zabando, which is a game of Would You Rather. So it's a good way of kind of examining. And you know what? Speaking of examining, after we play the game, I want to kind of... no, I'm not going to say I want to examine you because that doesn't sound right.
That's creepy.
I want to analyze you.
Okay, you want to psychoanalyze me.
Well, I wouldn't say psycho, even though it probably fits. I just want to analyze you.
Okay.
Because I got an insight this week that I think might be important. All right.
Okay.
So you're going to drop the stones this week. What we do is we drop 5 color stones.
1 of 5.
Well, 1 of 5. We roll 5, drop 1, yellow, and knew it.
You
All right.
saw it.
No, I called it.
You saw it.
How could I see it?
Because I was going like that.
No, I told
Lies.
you. Random is yellow. Would you rather be a Siamese twin connected at the chest or at the waist?
Chest. I'm going to go with chest. Now, that means that our faces are going to be up close and personal all the time.
No, it's like that anyway. I will. All right.
It's like that anyway.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. I have seen documentaries.
Yes.
About is that PC Siamese twins? Is that proper now?
Conjoined. No, conjoined. Yeah. They used to be called Siamese, but they're conjoined.
Yeah. I've seen documentaries about several or a few, and there's a couple. I think the term Siamese twins came from a couple of twins from Siam, or they were Siamese twins.
Thailand now.
Yeah, and they fathered children
with separate wives.
Separate wives?
Yep.
I don't know how that works, but I know how it works, but I'm just but I guess everybody does it different, but what do? Do they put up a little blanket and say like today, cuz there's and they're famous, the girls, of course they're twins. The girls, they're young girls, and I guess they're probably 30s, maybe, I doubt 40, but 30s now.
Is that the blondes, the Ashley and whatever her other name is?
I think they're blonde, yeah.
The girls who have, like, they're very close at the neck area. Like they share a torso.
I think they do, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so, but they have totally different personalities.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what their genitalia is like. I really don't know if they have separate or the same. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if they could both feel. I don't know. That's something that's very interesting to me. But I just wonder. Okay, like first of all, you fall in love with somebody, and what if the other person can't stand that person? But then you have to basically you're living with the other person's person. They have to sleep. I don't know. There's some psychological stuff in there that just
I think that conjoined twins really need to have an open line of communication at all times, because otherwise they will turn out like I think they were Russian twins from back in the day who were conjoined, and one was very dominant, and the other one, what were their names? Anyways, it was like Martha and something that rhymed. And one of them was psychotic. Oh. And yeah.
Kept trying to kill the other one.
She did a couple of times.
Well, you can't, because then you're killing yourself.
Yeah. And they grew up in the circus, because way back then, that's what you did with conjoined twins. That's the only way they could make money, or their family could afford to support them. And it turned ugly. It turned really ugly. So I think that, that would be a hard life. I think it would be a very hard life. But I also think it would be the only life they know. So they just kind of have to get used to it and deal with it. But you're right. Like if we were conjoined, now that would never happen because we're not identical.
In theory, we were twins who were conjoined.
Right.
Yeah.
In theory. That would mean that if I did fancy somebody, you would almost have to get your permission. Like if you despised them, I would not be able to follow that path with them.
But there has to be a point where it's just like, we're gonna have sex tonight, so you need to stay on the other side,
right? Or
does the other person kind of join
what if
in
you, what
or
if you
help
share genitalia?
I don't know. I mean, you got to be... And then the person who's not the twin
right
has to be able to accept that.
Absolutely. They have to go in knowing that I don't
It's
take,
like one night
I don't take my sister off at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like one night they're like, I kind of like maybe the sister to join in. They're like, "Wow, are you crazy?
Get out."
I'm not that kind of girl.
or
Well,
like,
how about your sister?
let's
I don't know.
Let's knock her out. Give her sleeping pill. Well, that's not really going to work because we
No.
share a bloodstream.
Yeah, I mean,
idiot.
it's a special case. I don't know. And I mean, they do. They get married, and then there's birthing. I mean, do they
my
get
gosh.
pregnant? One of them carry what? I don't.
If they
there's
have
so
two
much
separate
stuff.
uteruses.
Yeah, uteri. I don't know.
What if one of them becomes pregnant and the
Right.
other one has to suffer through pregnancy and not even have a child?
Yeah.
Because I don't know any stories of any female conjoined twins who one has had a child. But I do know, like you said, the original conjoined twins, or the most famous, I will say, conjoined twins, who were in circus life and fathered all those children. They're men, so
that's
they
easy. They don't have to carry.
all they have to do is
Yeah.
is spew.
Yeah. All right. Well,
On that note,
let's stop before we can. I mean, we could go a whole podcast on this one.
we could
I'm
go
gonna
down
drop.
a serious rabbit hole.
I'm gonna drop a color here.
Okay.
Feeling blue. Feeling a little blue.
Are you feeling a little
A little blue.
It's yellow.
Another yellow one. All right.
Yellow again is random. So,
another
would
random.
you rather only be able to drive 15 miles each day
I know some people like that, and I've been around them.
or only be
Traffic.
able to make 2 phone calls each day?
I don't make any phone calls, so I'll
Same.
go with that one.
Yes, same.
That card is easy.
That's super easy.
I don't wanna make
I don't
any phone
answer
calls.
my phone when it rings unless it's somebody I really want to talk to.
So
like,
I-
look, it's ringing right now.
Yeah,
I'm not answering
Yeah,
it.
I own a business, so when you own a business, you get calls all day long from people trying to sell you stuff, and you do anyway, even if you don't own a business.
That's
but
true.
Websites, marketing
Yes.
stuff, and whatever. So I don't answer, even if it's a client, and apparently a client. That's what voicemail is for.
That's what voicemail is
They
for.
call,
I
and then
agree.
I return the call. So
I
go like
agree.
that.
That is what voicemail is for.
all right, well, that's another Would You Rather come and gone. Hey, so last week we started a new feature on this podcast. This is one of those things where everybody gets a chance to win.
Oh, fun. Winning is fun.
It is fun, and we had a winner last week. And so what we do is we have a new thing that we're calling Disaster Word.
Uh-huh.
So-
and it's fun because you can win prizes.
That's right.
The winning
So
part.
I'm saying every, although sometimes it might not happen, but I think almost every podcast we will give out Disaster Word or Disaster Words. First person to put it on our Facebook page wins something.
What do they win?
And last,
Do we just decide different things? It's not always the same thing that they win, right?
No, it's
we
just-
can make it whatever we want to make it.
and sometimes it's really small. Sometimes it might be a major thing at one point.
Yeah.
It'll be mostly just kind of little fun things. Not that we're not Oprah. We're not giving away cars.
You get a fun thing.
Yeah.
And you get a fun thing.
So this week, what we're gonna do, should we tell what the prize is? I think we should.
yes. What is our prize this week?
This week, because it's our anniversary, we're going to get one of the Bestie beer cans that we're having on the show, and we're going to sign it. And now it will be empty. We're not allowed to send a full beer.
Not everywhere. We can send a beer somewhere. Some places will allow you to ship alcohol.
What if it's a minor? You have to prove.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I
'Cause we
mean-
could be arrested.
Yeah, so you don't want to
Yeah.
do that. But we will empty it, and I think what I'll do is I'll poke a hole in the bottom and then drain it, because that way the top won't be popped open, so it'll look like it's a full can, really not. And anyway, so we'll do that, and then we'll both sign it, and then that special anniversary can will be yours if you post the Disaster Words on our Facebook page.
Which we're about to announce.
First person to do it. You cannot be a winner more. What did we decide? For every
You have to, if you're a winner this week, you can't win for 3 more weeks.
yeah, so every month basically.
Basically, every 4 weeks you
It's
can win.
possible for some people to win every month though.
Right. You can participate, but if we know that you won last week and you put the word on the webpage, we're not going to fall for it.
No,
unless we forget.
Do you want to talk about what this week's disaster words are?
This week's disaster word, it's actually a word. It's one word.
Oh, I misspelled it.
Is boomstick. Now,
Boomstick.
if you know anything about horror movies, you know Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And in Evil Dead, Ash has a gun that he calls his boomstick.
Yep.
And the phrase is, "This is my boomstick." So this week's disaster word, one word, is boomstick.
Now, do we want to tell everyone why you're picking that word?
Yes, let's do that, because Halloween, it's almost Halloween, and Halloween is fun, and we really love Halloween. We're going to be in the Little 5 Points Halloween Parade, and in that parade, I intend to dress like Ash.
Yeah.
From Evil Dead 2. From Evil Dead 2, not Army of Darkness, but Evil Dead 2.
There's a difference between 1 and 2?
The costume is different.
Oh, okay.
Because in Evil Dead 2, he has the chainsaw on his hand.
I think you showed me that movie, and I really, really, at the end of it, wanted those 2 hours back.
Why? Did I show you 1, 2, or 3?
I think it was 2, and it might have been one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
That's blasphemous.
I know. I'm just saying it's just ridiculous. I mean,
it's silly fun. It's
I know.
But it's Sam Raimi. I mean, come on.
I know.
You cannot get better.
Silly, just ridiculous. I'm not a horror fan. Now, I like realistic horror, and gothic. I like the classics. That was just slash, and just ridiculous stuff. I mean, let's back up. You did say he has a chainsaw for a hand.
Yes.
There's your clue.
Okay.
But
keep in mind, this is Bruce Campbell playing the infamous Ash.
Sure.
I think his last name is Williams in the movie.
Okay.
He works at S Smart.
Okay.
Shop Smart.
Oh.
Shop S Smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's the slogan.
Okay.
Today's word is boomstick. Posted on our Facebook page.
And if you come to the Atlanta Little 5 Points Halloween Parade, you will be able to see Cheri as Ash. I'm gonna admit something.
What are you going to admit?
But I'm not going to reveal what it means.
Okay.
I'm going, if you can believe this, I'm going as a dad joke.
You're going as a dad joke.
I'm not going to tell you what the joke is or why, and you'll just have to see it if you show up.
How does that even happen? You, a dad joke?
I'm walking this parade for the podcast, and you do the dad jokes in the podcast. So I'm endorsing what you do. I hope you don't mind.
Is it this dad joke?
Oh, don't. You don't.
What does a nut say when it sneezes? You should get this one. Cashew.
Oh.
What? You don't like that one? I like that one. What do a dog...
No, take a stop.
Yeah, this is only the second one. What do a dog and a phone have in common? They both have caller ID.
That's so stupid. That's like Evil Dead 2. It's so stupid.
No.
That joke has a chainsaw for a hand.
That was a great joke.
Crazy. All right. Well, we will be in the parade. I'm going to be a dad joke. Cheri's going to be Ash from Evil Dead. If you've never been to this parade, let me tell you, if you're within, what do you think, 4 hours driving?
Yeah.
Do it.
It's worth it.
I
think it's worth it.
It's so much fun. The parade is, it goes on. Starts at like noon.
The festivities do, yeah.
The parade starts at like 4, but it goes way into the night.
There are several stations. There's several stations set up. First of all, the area is a lot of fun. It's a funky little place with lots of consignment shops and fun things to do.
Now let's back up a little bit.
Why?
There's a lot of cool places in Atlanta. Little 5 is a little eccentric and slightly on the crazy side.
Okay.
There's some eccentric people there.
That's true.
Some a little kind of weird people there.
Okay.
But that just makes for great Halloween party.
It's fun and funky.
That's exactly right.
Sometimes it smells a little funky.
But they have music at night, dancing, people, a lot of drinking.
After the parade, the festivities continue. There are several bars set up, like outdoors on the street. The whole street is shut down.
Restaurants going on.
Restaurants.
It's a party.
So
it's a
good.
street party.
Yes.
It's fun, and it's worth the drive.
I agree.
Get you a place to stay so you don't have to drive home after a few besties.
And that is happening on Saturday, October 19th.
That's right. That's right. So we'll be there. We're going to be in the parade. Some of our friends are going to be with us, and we're giving out stickers now. Here's something that I should talk about.
What?
We've given out stickers to our listeners before, and let me just say, if you want a sticker, all you got to do is write to us, say I want a sticker. We'll send you free stickers. We do that. It's just one of the things we do. You don't have to pay for it.
You can have
all we need
stickers.
is your mailing address, and we'll send it to you. But guess what?
What?
We have brand new stickers that have not been given to anyone. No one's even seen them.
You got a new logo? No, I mean, our logo hasn't changed.
The logo's not even on it. Guess what's on these stickers?
What?
Our face.
Our faces?
Both of us.
Our faces.
We got a face
I'm not
sticker.
sure how I feel about that. My face is going to be stuck all over Atlanta.
Yeah, can you imagine driving down the street and then
seeing my face on
you
somebody's
get behind
car.
somebody's car and then you're right there?
Oh, my God.
So these will be us on there, and it says This Epic Disaster Podcast. And so we're going to be giving those out. We're going to be giving some of the classic stickers of our logos, black and white, and color. Lots of stickers we're going to be giving out. So you can get a free sticker. I don't even know if these will be available after the after the parade. We may be giving them all out. So I don't know. If we have any left, we might offer them. Maybe we'll give them as gifts or something. But the best place, if you want to get one, is to show up at the parade.
I agree. And we'll give you stickers, and I'll do it dressed like Ash.
And we'll have a big banner saying This Epic Disaster, so you'll be able to see us.
You can't miss us. We won't have a float or anything, and we're just walking.
We're not going to be floating.
But it'll be fun.
What's going on? What else? You said you wanted to talk about something?
I did want to talk about something, but I don't remember what it was. So, sorry.
Dang.
I know, right?
All right, then let's talk about
I completely spaced it because here's what happens. If I don't write something down, the minute I think about it, I forget.
I'm a lot like that, too. All right, so let's. We're celebrating ourselves 10-year anniversary.
Yes,
and we've talked about our story here on the podcast, so we're not going to go into detail on that. But there were some few things that I want to mention, just memories, some things about 10 years of being friends and 10 years of hanging out. Briefly, we met. I was living in Chattanooga. Cheri was in Anchorage, Alaska. We met through Facebook. We got together. We moved in together the day we met each other.
We met in person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. We drove home from Chicago to Chattanooga in my Subaru Forester.
Yes.
And you had your two cats.
Yes.
As I recall, one of them bit you.
Yes. On the way.
Yeah, they were pissed off. Now, so what I thought is we'd kind of talk a little bit about some things over the 10 years that we've remembered about being friends.
Okay.
I should say we lived in Chattanooga for a while, and then we broke up.
Yep.
And you moved to a city next to Chattanooga, and I stayed in Chattanooga. And then eventually I met someone and moved to Atlanta, got married, and I called you and I said, move to Atlanta, you're going to love it. And you moved to Atlanta, and then you're here.
And I'm here.
And then we started doing the podcast again. All right, so that's the condensed version. And we won't. If you want to know any more, I think episode 1.
I think we talked about it 95 episodes ago.
Is our story.
And perhaps a little bit here and there.
But I wanted to kind of maybe let's kind of cover some highlights of some things that that we remember we've been through. What's 10 years of being friends like for people who don't have 10? I mean, most people have friends for 10 years, but
especially if you're our age.
Yeah, I mean, what's some of the fun things? All right, so I wanted to think about, because I was thinking, here we are, we're recording this a little bit early, not much. From October 15th. I think today is the 10th, right?
Yes.
Yes. So 5 days away.
Right.
Really.
Right.
But here's what I remember.
What do you remember?
All right, so I knew I was going to drive to Chicago, which I've never been to Chicago at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to drive to Chicago to pick you up.
Right, because I wanted to fly. Well, I had to fly down, and I had already planned to move, so I was going to have my cats with me, and I didn't want to have to transfer flights. And that's literally the only reason you had to come to Chicago to pick me up, because I did not want to transfer my cats in Chicago to another flight so that I could fly directly into Chattanooga, which is what I was going to do.
But it was also like really more expensive.
Much more expensive, yes.
All right, so here's what I think is interesting because we're in Atlanta right now. I think today's temperature was in the upper 70s.
It got higher than that in the afternoon.
Okay, so what I remember is I wanted you to see Tennessee autumn.
Yes.
And the leaves had just started to change. And I was so afraid that by the time I went up there, got you and brought you back, all the leaves were going to be gone.
Right.
Which I think that kind of happened if I remember right, but maybe not totally. But so peak leaf season in Chattanooga was going on right about now.
Mm-hmm.
And but it was hot. I just remember it being so hot, and I was like, oh crap, man, I'm going to go. You're used to Anchorage, and you're going to come here to Chattanooga, and it's going to be so hot. So I was very concerned about that. And then, probably like a day before I was to go get you, the temperature just dropped.
Just plummeted.
So what I remember is driving, it was cold. And I got to Nashville, and it started snowing.
Yes. It snowed on your way to pick me up
October
on October
15th. Now it was really light, just spitting snow in Nashville, which is crazy when you think about it now, it seems like.
Yeah.
And then we got all the way up, and I just remember I got up there. Boy, I don't remember a whole lot. I remember the hotel. So I got there first.
Mm-hmm. You got to the hotel first.
I got to the hotel, and I checked in, and I can remember you were delayed. I think you took a taxi.
I took a shuttle.
Yeah. And I just remember that I had already got in the room, set everything up in the room, unpacked and everything. And then you showed up, and I was like on
the
6,
fourth
7,
floor or something
whatever
above
floor.
4.
It was way up there.
Yeah.
And you were like a little spot down there and just waved up. So I can remember that. And and then that night we went to. Do you remember where we ate?
We went to Harry Carey's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had dinner.
We had dinner at Harry Carey's. You were not vegetarian at the time.
I was not.
I was. So I think you might have had steak.
I think I did have a steak.
And a big steak. I don't even remember what I had. I just know Harry Carey's I don't think had vegetarian.
They didn't have many options, no. But it was the closest restaurant.
What I do remember, though, it was freaking cold.
It was cold.
Chicago was cold.
It was
October
cold.
15, 2009.
I think even the following day we went to breakfast.
The following morning,
actually
do
snowed
you remember?
On us.
We walked.
Yes.
Do you remember where we went? IHOP.
Yeah.
And had pumpkin pancakes.
Pumpkin pancakes.
I wanted pumpkin pancakes last week, and we went, and they didn't have them. And I think I'm going to have to go get them at IHOP.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to.
Yeah, but we walked over, and man, it was cold.
It was cold.
Froze to death.
Yes.
And then, what did we stay another night, and then we left the next morning?
Yes.
Because here's what I remember.
Actually, no, we didn't. You checked your bank account.
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. I thought we had determined, oh shit, we can't afford another night. We have to go.
I don't think so. I feel like that happened at breakfast the next morning.
Okay.
I paid for breakfast, and it came back. They were like, your card has been declined. And I was like, huh? And I checked my account, and some big thing that wasn't supposed to cleared. And I was stuck in Chicago.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I'm talking to the listeners. Can you imagine? He drives up to pick me up, his new girlfriend that we'd never met before. We have dinner. We go out in the morning for breakfast. There's a little bit of hanky-panky happening.
Did that happen? I don't know.
Yeah, it did. And then suddenly, oh shit, I got no money. We have to drive back to Chattanooga.
I just finished working for a client, and they were supposed to pay, and they didn't. It was a little holdup, and I had to make all these arrangements to get someone to put it in the account. But still, it wasn't going to clear for a day or two.
Right.
And so I was panicking. I don't remember how I got the money, and because I don't think you had the money.
I didn't.
I don't remember how I got the money to come home.
I don't know how we got home. It was a marathon drive. It took us 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On no money?
Right.
I don't know. I just remember we had like continental breakfast. Oh, I just remembered something else.
What?
We bought a bottle of wine or champagne, and we had no way to open it. We had no corkscrew. And I had to go down into the bar downstairs and ask for a corkscrew, which they loaned me. The next day, I bought a corkscrew and put it in my travel kit, and it's been there to this day.
It's still there. And what's funny is that up until that day, because that was the first night I was there, up until that day, I used to carry a purse. I don't now. But I used to carry a corkscrew in my purse. That's how much I drank wine. And I mean, you want to be prepared, right? Mm-hmm. So I used to carry a corkscrew in my purse. But since I had just flown, I took the corkscrew out of my purse because you can't take a corkscrew on a plane.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Speaking of flying, I remember when I checked into the hotel, you know what news story was on?
What?
Remember the Bubble Boy?
I do remember the Bubble Boy.
The Bubble Boy, they had just found out it was a hoax. And so that was like the big news story at the time.
That was 10 years ago this week.
Can you believe it?
Bubble Boy.
Bubble Boy. So I have here in my hand, these are the songs that were happening in the United States on October 15, 2009. All right, the number one song was Down by Jay Sean. Do you know Jay Sean?
No.
I don't either.
Okay.
That really made me feel old because it was the number one song 10 years ago, and I still don't know the person.
I probably would recognize the song if I heard it. I just don't know the name.
Damn. There are people out there going, "Oh, these people are
old.
Let's go to another podcast."
Just turn it off. Turn it off. We're old.
I do know number 2, Miley Cyrus, "Party in the USA." That seems like so long ago.
That does seem like a long time ago.
So that just means she was a little kid. She was just growing up.
She hadn't had sex with a foam finger on the
No,
stage
and now
yet.
she's been married and divorced, and she's on the prowl again.
Yep.
Number 3, Jay-Z, "Run This Town."
Oh, okay.
Number 4, Jason Derulo, the song "What You Say."
What you say?
I don't know. What's there? Ray Charles song? I don't know. All right. Number 5, the Black Eyed Peas, "Got a Feeling." I got a feeling.
I got a feeling.
Was Black Eyed Peas number 5? And the Black Eyed Peas, I guess they're not even together now. Maybe
Do you know
when they
what's
want
funny
to.
about that song?
What?
You just reminded me. About 2 or 3 weeks before I came down to live with you, my roommate Nathan had a wedding to go to, and he invited me to come as his guest.
Okay.
So it was a fancy wedding. So I had to borrow a Calvin Klein dress, and he got a tie to match my dress. It was like prom. It was fun. But we went out dancing to one of our favorite techno clubs, or we were going to go to the techno club, but we stopped by
Was it a rave by any chance?
No, it was not.
Did you go to a rave?
No, we
Do you
stopped
even know
at
what
the
a rave is?
Shut up. We stopped at the main popular alternative bar first that had 3 different dance floors, and one of them was pop music, and that song came on. And
I Got a Feeling.
Yeah,
Black Eyed Peas.
we had fun.
Number 6, Lady Gaga, "Paparazzi." That's a great song.
That's a great song.
Lady Gaga's great. Number 7, Taylor Swift, "You Belong With Me." Wow.
Wow.
Number 8, Mariah Carey, "Obsessed."
Okay.
Number 9, Kings of Leon, "Use Somebody."
Oh.
And number 10, also Jay-Z, "Empire State of Mind." Jay-Z had 2 songs in the top 10, 2009. 2009, was he married to Beyonce then?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, that's what's going on the radio, which we didn't listen to because we didn't know half those songs.
So that "Use Somebody" song,
Uh-huh.
my favorite radio station in Anchorage did a parody of it.
Oh.
It was like, "I could use some coffee." It was It was good. They went on the whole spiel. It was fun.
So what I remember is we got home. I remember it was October, obviously.
And so very late when we got in.
It was like 2 weeks after that, we went to a big Halloween block party.
Yeah, we did.
Fine, and we both went as zombies.
Yes.
You were sexy. You kind of looked like a teenager at the time. You were like sexy teenager schoolgirl.
Catholic schoolgirl.
And
zombie.
I was like dirty old man zombie.
You were my date.
I get your dad, probably. And so we went, and that was fun. And we carved pumpkins. Mm-hmm. And then I don't remember much after that. It just
for the entire friendship.
For the rest of the year. And I know we did Halloween. Christmas and all that kind of stuff. But
of course we did.
Oh, you did. You came to my parents' house one. That was the first Thanksgiving to my parents' house.
I got to meet everybody on Thanksgiving, which was terrifying. But then when I got there, I was basically ignored.
Yeah. Well, they do that with everyone. That's how you know.
I don't matter yet.
You're accepted into my family when you're ignored.
Yeah.
All right. So in 10 years, we now let's see. We were together. We were only together like 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
So 6 years we've been friends.
Yeah. Well, we've been friends the whole time.
I know, it was 6 years just friends.
Right.
And but 4 years we lived together, and we lived several places in Chattanooga. And
we moved a lot.
No, we moved 3 times.
No, we moved a lot.
You moved the first time. I was in an apartment.
Okay, I moved into that apartment, and then we moved from there
to a crazy place downtown.
Yes, and then from there
went to another apartment. That's 3. Oh, wait a minute.
We went to Tremont.
Yeah, I down in North Chattanooga, which is a cool place.
It was a very cool place.
Although it almost got hit by a tornado. So 4 places. And then finally we found a house, which we loved, and I liked that house. I almost bought it.
You almost bought that house. It was a good sized house.
Yeah.
It was old, and that was in.
And that was when I started doing. No. I started doing Life to Kill in the apartment, and then we went as we moved into the house.
Into the house.
We were doing,
yeah.
I was doing Life
so
to Kill.
we moved several times, and then I moved again to a different city, just outside of Chattanooga.
Because we busted up. Because we broke up.
I moved on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. One of those. I think it had to have been New Year's Eve because I had to go purchase a mattress that very day that I was moving.
Yeah, you had already. That was when you said you were going to move out. You went through Christmas, then you moved.
Yep. Yeah. So that was.
You had to go buy a car.
I had to go buy a mattress. I already had the car.
Did you get the car before?
Yeah.
You moved? Okay.
I had to borrow your van to move my stuff because I had to move myself.
I didn't have the van at the time. Did I? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
So anyways, that's fun.
It's getting boring now.
And then I moved to Atlanta, where I have since moved 3 times.
Yeah, that's your thing, though.
I know. I've moved more times in my life than anybody should.
Well, I had that experience, too, but I've settled down for a little while. All right, let's talk about friendship. Let's talk about 10 years of friendship. I don't know. I feel like the last maybe year we've done podcasts.
Right.
Every week. Mm-hmm. But we don't hang out like we used to.
We don't really hang out. We don't go do things like we used to. Like you'd say, hey, there's this art festival going on. Come with me. And I would be like, yeah, let's go do that.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And now I go, let's go to Pride Parade. And you're like, no. Like, there's an art festival. No. I'm tired. I had a shit week. I'm tired. I'm going to stay home with my dog. That's how it goes.
Is that how it goes?
That's how it goes.
Gosh, I'm a boring ass bitch.
You are. And but we do podcasting.
We do. So I still get to see you.
At least we got that.
Plus I come over for holidays.
You hang out. It's kind of been a tradition. You stay at my house on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. Stay till Christmas.
And I come for Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have a big dinner this year. And by the way, if you're listening to the podcast, everybody's welcome. Come to my house for Thanksgiving.
Mom will be here. That's another thing. Your current wife.
Oh, I forgot to tell you.
Her mother has adopted me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and so, yeah, it's like now, I don't know. I want to say it is kind of best friends, but yet we don't do a whole lot anymore.
Yeah.
But I think we should. And I think
should.
as the holidays happen, we'll probably do more.
I agree.
But your job is a lot. You get really, really busy with your job, and you get really tired.
I do.
So
and I have a dog.
You don't want to go do things as much.
And I'm lazy. I mean, you have to put that in there, too. I am lazy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you and I text almost every day. It's not like we're not in communication.
Kind of.
You know, we talk about things. I know you very well.
I don't think you know me as much as you think.
I know some of your traits that when we were together, say, when we were a couple, used to bug the shit out of me.
All right.
And literally drove me nuts.
All right, so let's do a
me.
couple of those. You tell me what those are.
Okay. You are a borderline hoarder.
Not so much.
And you're fine with clutter.
clutters, I totally in that. I'm not really a hoarder. I don't hoarder. I'm an artist. I have a lot of things. I run a business, so I have a lot of things that are associated with my business. But I don't know that I hoard a lot of stuff. But when I do have a lot of the stuff that I do have is kind of connected with art supplies and art paper.
Sure.
Like when you look behind the studio, right behind you, all of that paper, tons and tons of stacks of paper. And those are designs that I've done over the years. I can't really throw them away.
Of course not.
I don't want to. I guess I could.
The way, though, that you store your belongings and scatter them about is I'm more of a minimalist.
Kind of.
I don't really like things.
I will say that is something I'm changing. I'm working on getting rid of. My wife and I both were committed to trying to get rid of some stuff, and we've decided next year is going to be the year that we really do a lot of that, and so I'm really working on that. So you'll be more happy.
But I will tell you that as your friend and not as your romantic partner,
which you're not,
it bothers me so much less now because it's not my problem. That's it. Other things that used to frustrate me about you, that just, I mean, I won't go into too many details. This isn't a dump on Rick show, but they just don't bother. They're just it just is. That's just who you are now. It used to personally affect me. Like I used to get frustrated and angry, and it affected me on my daily life. Now it's like, oh, that's just Rick. That's just who he is. It's fine, and move past it. Like I should have done then, because I would have been a happier person.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you have to think too. When we lived, let's say we lived in the house in Chattanooga, that last house we lived in, the upstairs where we lived, that was very scaled back. There wasn't a lot of clutter. You went downstairs into the studio, clutter. You didn't have to go down there though. That was all my space.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
So I mean, there wasn't any problem there.
You don't have to be defensive.
Oh,
I'm not dumping on you.
I'm not defending. I don't need to defend myself.
But even now, you have to admit that things that used to bother you about me when we lived together, like you say, you've got talent. Why don't you use it? You should do this. You should do that. And I'd be like, meh, maybe. And that used to really affect you. You used to be upset by that.
I know, but I mean, too. I'm just generally in life. I'm not as affected by things like I used to be.
Right. That's true, too.
I let a lot of stuff go that I used to not.
And you have to.
Yeah.
We've both grown quite a bit.
Well, 10 years.
It's been 10 years.
Sure.
I've grown outward.
You got to do it. I mean,
I've gotten
you get
puffy.
old. Everybody does.
But I mean, emotionally as well. And mentally.
I don't know about that.
Wow.
I mean,
Bitch.
just listen to the show. That's all I'm saying. Just listen to the show. Okay.
So what do you think, what are your just basic thoughts on friends who are of opposite or different sexual orientations?
I don't know. We've had that conversation a little bit on the show. And I don't have a problem with it with us. I mean, but then I think, well, like, what if my wife was really good friends with her ex? And she's friends with her ex, but I just think, what if they hung out and did stuff? And we don't really do much stuff. I mean, you like my wife, and you all hang out.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, if I went out of town, you and my wife would get together and do stuff.
Sure.
That wouldn't be unusual.
Right.
But I don't know if my wife had a close relationship with her ex, what I would feel like. I might not be as accepting as she is, I guess.
You have to know, like, one thing that is common, people say a lot about two people who are friends and, with somebody of the gender that they would be attracted to, if that makes sense. Okay? That there's sexual tension there sometimes. Do you think that because you and I have been there, done that makes our friendship easier?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I know. So, like, I'm always concerned, like, my wife thinks that. And I don't think she does now.
Right.
But I've assured her, that's not even in a thing. I was like, if you and I were not married, that it wouldn't move in that direction.
It still wouldn't.
That's over.
Yeah.
And So I don't know if that's a thing. I think there are couples, friend couples, opposite sex friend couples who have never done that don't really want to.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I have male friends who are interested in women, and that's not an option.
Right.
It's not even a consideration. I have, I know men friends who are interested in men, and between the two of them, it's not a thing.
Right.
So it's. I don't think it's always there.
No.
But that's like the common thing that people say is that you're never really friends with someone of this gender that you're attracted to. You're really just trying to get in their pants, kind of thing.
I think we're too old for that.
I can't get out of my own fucking pants.
Well,
I have a hard time getting into them.
And the other thing, I guess, is I'm in a relationship that I like and I'm happy with and secure and settled, and so I'm not looking. So I don't know. I guess who knows if I wasn't married and you weren't married? Whether we would start moving in that direction. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But who knows? But I mean, it's just not anything that is something that I think anything about.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And I think age does have something to do with that, too.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with it. Because when you're, a 30-year-old man or even a 35-year-old man or even a 40-year-old man, all you think about is sex.
That's pretty much true.
Yeah. And now when you're almost 60, you're like, I wish I could have sex.
No.
It's just too much work.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like, that's the thing about being, never mind.
What were you going to say?
Be married to somebody younger. No, not again. No.
Don't make me do it.
Yeah,
it
I'm
hurts.
just too old for that. But okay, so like creatively though, it's fun because I think, I don't know everything about what you can and do. I know a lot of stuff about you, so we can kind of draw upon our own creative things. And like, I think it's one of the reasons why our podcast works, even though I'm putting that in quotations. I don't know if it works. We're not the most popular podcast in the world.
No.
But I think we know how to talk.
Yeah.
And we've talked to each other for 10 years. So
right.
We know how to do that. And we know how to talk on a podcast because we've been podcasting for... Well, we started our first podcast in
2013.
2013.
But we only did 8 episodes.
Yeah, and then we took a little bit of a break, and then we started again in
2015.
Was it 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, early 15. So 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 4 years of weekly podcasting, and not only that, but just talking and regular stuff, and I think that helps.
I think it helps a lot.
Yep.
So, yeah. Anyways, that's us. That's Rick and Cheri. We're about as boring as we come.
Wait a minute. What?
Wait, what?
I don't know what you're talking about. Well, anyway, 10 years. It's kind of it's a milestone, but I don't know.
What are some of your favorite memories with me? Like favorite experiences that we did together?
I enjoyed when we went to Carolina Renaissance Festival and Maryland Renaissance Festival.
Yes. Those were good times.
All the Renaissance festivals were fun. One of them, and I can't remember if it was Carolina or Maryland. I'm pretty sure it was Maryland when you got drunk off your butt as we were leaving. And you had a lot, and you were hanging out the window. I actually got pictures of you hanging out the window.
I think that was Georgia.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Because I remember what I was wearing when I was hanging out the window.
Me too. No.
Then it had to have been Carolina because I was hanging out the window of my car.
Yeah.
And we didn't take my car to Maryland.
No.
So it had to have been North Carolina.
I remember, no, you couldn't be hanging out your car because I was driving. We were in a rental car.
No, we took my vehicle to Carolina.
Carolina was like right before we split up.
Yes.
Yeah. Maryland was it the year before? Or
2 years before, I think.
Mm-hmm. So those are fun.
Yeah.
Man, I'd have to really think. Here's a weird thing about me is when I let something go, I tend to just let it go.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time remembering that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of let it go.
Let it completely go.
Like I went on a date with a person who's a friend of mine now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was around Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it almost like it was yesterday. It was so much fun. And just the stuff we did, the drinks, walking down the street. We went to hear live jazz.
Yeah.
All of that stuff I can remember almost like yesterday. And then other times I was with you 4 years and I can't remember half the things we did.
Thanks.
But I know there were, and again, I'm on the spot here. I could probably go, oh, yeah, I remember that. That was awesome. But,
I enjoy our walks around downtown Chattanooga.
Yeah.
I enjoy when we went to Wine Over Water.
Yeah. That was always fun.
That's an event that they have in Chattanooga on the walking bridge.
Just missed it.
Yep. I enjoyed a lot of those things. And those are the memories I like to keep.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the memories where we have pictures.
Yeah.
So they're easy to remember.
Well, I remember moving here, and you were not in a good spot when I contacted you to move here. And I was like, look, you need to do it. You were like, I can't leave my job. I was like, yes, leave your job. And we had an arrangement for you to get a place to live and everything. Because I feel like if you had stayed there for 3 months, that would have been it for you. You would have just checked out.
Probably.
And then you moved here, and you still weren't perfectly together. It took you a while. And then you found a house, you found a job, you found friends, and you found the community, and you found a place to hang out. And then, yeah, it's been fun.
I did. And it took me a minute, and I owe a lot of that to you, convincing me to come down here, saying you're going to love it, even though I was frightened because I was at a job making more money than I'd ever made in a horrible place. Honestly, even the job was horrible, and it was the only thing that kept me there was the money, to be honest with you. And I just thought, you know what, I will take this chance, because if you think it's going to be good for me, I will trust you.
Yeah.
And how much you were helping me to set things up and get ready and come down here, I just thought with his help, I can do this. And sure shit, I did it.
And it hasn't been perfect, but I guess the lesson is in the face of disaster, and that's kind of the thing about our podcast. Mm-hmm. In the face of disaster, you can survive. Okay. And things kind of change form, and they kind of mutate. They become something else. But disasters often can become something positive. And even if they go back to disasters, they will eventually go back to positive. Everything kind of moves back and forth.
It's a cycle. It's a balance.
Kind of ride life, until life can shake you off.
Until finally that disaster is just too much. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's us. I think, should we talk more about us?
No. I think people are tired of us.
All right. Well, I'm going to read a news story.
What kind of news story?
Phoenix man upset with his neighbors, fires shots into the ceiling,
yes!
Accidentally shoots himself in the face.
I read this one, and I thought, what a fucking... Oh, wait, I sent this to you.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
A Phoenix man was taken to the hospital in critical condition Sunday night after one of the shots he fired at his own ceiling hit him in the face.
Yeah.
Phoenix Police Department said the man was upset with his upstairs neighbors. All right. Hold on. That should be attempted murder. If you're shooting your neighbors...
Yes, it should be attempted murder.
Right.
But I don't know what he was charged with, if anything. I just know that he was in
quick.
critical condition because he blew half his face off.
Yeah.
Because he went up... The story is he went upstairs pounding on the door. He was having an argument with his upstairs neighbors. He went back downstairs to his apartment.
I'm reading the story. You're telling the story, and I'm reading it.
Sorry.
You've ruined the whole story now. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
After banging on his neighbor's door, he returned to his apartment and grabbed a handgun. He fired multiple shots into the ceiling. The final shot he fired hit him in the face. He remains in critical condition. No other injuries were reported. The investigation is ongoing. So, it doesn't say what he was charged with. I'm wondering if he's still even alive.
I wonder. Yeah, no idea. We'll have to look it up because we'll have to Google it.
All right.
Interesting. Okay. What else you got there?
Don't shoot your neighbors.
Don't shoot your ceiling, you fucking idiot.
That's crazy.
Don't do it.
All right. Well, if you listen to the podcast, it is Halloween time.
It is.
Next week, if I'm not mistaken, is our Halloween show. Isn't that correct?
Or the following week, actually. But yes.
Is it the following week?
It is.
Oh, that's right. We're doing one more show.
After this. Before our Halloween show.
And then it's our Halloween show.
And during our Halloween show, we're going to be reading spooky stories.
And these stories have been submitted by our listeners. Now, we already have a few that have been submitted, but we're wanting more. So please submit something. It can be a spooky poem. It could be a spooky short story. Just try to scare us.
Put
try
it
to scare the
together
people.
and send it to us. We'll give you credit if you want it. We won't if you don't. But we will read it on the podcast.
And those are always fun. We started it, the Life and Kill podcast, and so it's always fun. And so Cheri and I are going to write one of our own, and maybe two of our own. And then we have another little special thing that might be happening too on the podcast. So that will be our Halloween show in a couple of weeks, and you want to listen to that.
Exciting.
I don't know what's happening next week.
I don't either. We're going to have to figure out next week. You guys will have to come back and listen to figure out what we figured out.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But we're trying to stick with Halloween stuff as much as we can. And so make sure you listen to the Halloween podcast. Please send us some stories. It doesn't have to be a long story.
It doesn't have to be long. It can be short. It can be a limerick.
Yeah, we'd love for you to... that's not really a story, but yeah.
Yeah, why not?
There once was a ghost from Nantucket. Yeah, just send us something and it'll help you, we'll make you famous.
Or not.
You can send them to thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. And then hang out with us on Facebook. We're on Facebook. Facebook is where we want you to post the disaster words. This week, boomstick. Now that's boomstick as in boom.
Boomstick.
Yeah. That's on Facebook. We're also on Twitter sometimes. We're on the shows are always on YouTube. So
you can find them there.
We're going to do a video very soon since it's Halloween. We're going to do I got a couple ideas.
Me too.
Yeah.
Actually.
So we'll be doing that.
Yay.
We're also Instagram.
Yeah.
Occasionally we're on Instagram.
Sometimes.
So there you go. You can hang out with us. We have a new show every Monday, and we're always open to suggestions. If you want to send us email, we'll read your email here on the show. If you don't know, we have an open invitation for two things. I will interpret your dream. If you dream and you don't know what the dream means, send it to us. I did get a response. You remember when I think it was Patrick that I interpreted his dream.
Dog crate?
Yeah. He said I was spot on.
Spot on.
And not only that, but I said some stuff that he didn't even think about, and it opened him up to some new things. And so that's what I try to do.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I want people to kind of maybe think of new possibilities. And speaking of new possibilities, if you're having relationship problems, you can send in questions about relationships, and Cheri will help you out.
I don't think I got any feedback from my last person.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think people think about it, and some people might not have listened to the show yet. It was last week, wasn't it?
A couple weeks ago. But either way, if you have relationship issues, this could be romantic, this could be friendship, this could be your mom, your dad, your child, whatever, and you need advice, send it to thisepicdisaster@gmail.com, and I will give you my advice to you.
And relationship or dreams.
Dreams.
That's what we like. Now, speaking of dreams, I had a little insight this week I wanted to talk about with you.
Really?
Yes. And you can tell me if I'm right. You can tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe you won't even know.
Maybe not.
So here's what I'm thinking.
What you got?
All right. So I told you I kind of, and again, I'm not going to go into details, but I started meditating again maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever it was. I don't remember. And so I've always had this kind of illustration in my own spiritual head, in my own life, about what meditation will do. So you kind of picture like a hurricane.
Okay.
So like a big hurricane, whatever the name is now. And you think about how crazy, the hurricane sometimes close to 200 miles per hour.
Yep. That's a big
winds just going crazy. But if you were to get on the and just go all the way down, farther into the ocean, all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, you wouldn't know there's a hurricane going on.
No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't feel it. You wouldn't see it. You wouldn't have any idea.
You would implode, but
I'm just saying, if you could,
you'd be crushed. Not implode.
Well, if you're in a submarine, let's say.
Okay, you're in a submarine. You're not being crushed. Hope.
So in meditation, the deeper you go inside yourself, the more peace, the more calm that you experience. So you're not experiencing the craziness at the surface level.
Understood.
And I remembered when I was thinking about that illustration, I remembered how you have this fear of the bottom of the ocean.
No, I don't have
you
a
have
fear.
a fear of the things that live in the bottom of the ocean.
I have a fear of man-made objects in deep open water.
What's that mean?
Like it's called phobia. So it's basically, it's a combination of the fear of the ocean along with the fear of man-made objects that are submerged.
Like submarine.
Like submarine.
So you don't want to be at the bottom of the ocean.
Not really.
Yeah.
But like just looking at an image of a diver, say, near a piece of underwater equipment that's large, gives me anxiety.
What was the movie? Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, is that her name? Ed Harris.
The Abyss.
Do you like that movie?
I love
Did it
that
scare
movie.
the crap out of you?
No.
All of the stuff. That was what it was about. All your entire fear was that.
Do you know what else doesn't scare me, which is funny?
What?
There's a movie with Sam somebody, and Samuel L. Jackson is in it, and Queen Latifah is in it,
Okay.
where they are living in an underwater biosphere thing, and they have to go out of it sometimes, and oh god, it's like the book in the movie is 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, that movie doesn't scare me either, which is so weird.
Okay.
But
well, then my theory's blown. Because what I was thinking was after thinking about that and then thinking about your fear, your dreams about the bear, and we kind of thought maybe it might have something to do with you.
It's called Sphere. Because there's an alien ship down there, and they're going down there to it. It's called Sphere.
Okay. So I started thinking maybe your real fear was actually going to the depths of yourself.
I mean, maybe.
That's what I was thinking.
But I think the thing that causes me the anxiety, I'll be honest with you, because I have examined this a bit, because I never used to be afraid of the ocean, and I'm not afraid of large man-made objects, like in general. So the fear, I think, is just, it shows in the images that I look at that cause me anxiety. I'm actually getting anxiety right now thinking about it, which is weird. Is it shows just how teensy people are.
Sure.
In the grand scheme of things. It also shows how vulnerable they are. And it's like there's this huge piece of machinery and you're underwater, so you're already vulnerable because you can't breathe underwater. What if you got stuck? Like, what if your hose got stuck on that piece of machinery?
That's happened to me several times.
You got your hose stuck?
Yeah.
Ouch.
It happens.
Ouch.
Okay, well, then my theory's blown, and never mind.
Okay. No, but
Never mind.
I appreciate the insight, though. I do. I appreciate you thinking about me and trying to help me in any way that you can.
You know what would help me?
What?
If we rate this beer, let's talk about this beer.
Let's do it.
And let's rate it. What do you think about Bestie, the beer from, was it Wild Heaven?
Wild Heaven.
Wild Heaven beer.
Which is here in Atlanta.
Avondale Estates, right down the road from myself.
It's called Bestie, and it's actually not a bad beer.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed this
Mine
beer.
is gone. You know what it reminded me of? And no one's going to like this, and they're going to be mad at me for saying it.
Okay, what?
I haven't had Coors Light for a long time. It's that kind of beer. I'm not going to say it tastes like Coors Light, but it doesn't have, it's got...
It has more flavor than Coors Light by
but
a long
compared
shot.
to some of the craft beers that we have, it's I don't want to use this word, but it's a little more watery. It doesn't have a giant hit.
It's not as bold.
It's
not
not bold.
Subtle.
It has beer flavor, beer taste, but it doesn't have a lot of stuff added to it, and that's why I'm giving it a 3.5.
Ooh.
I liked it. I'm glad I actually bought a 6 because now I only have 3 because we're giving one of them away as a prize.
Yes.
To anybody who mentions Boomstick.
Boomstick.
Assigned, and we need to sign that downstairs, by the way. But 3.5. I like this beer.
It's good.
I will buy it. This is a great beer just for casual drinking with food.
Yep.
You don't want to change the taste of your food.
You don't want to get overly full while you're eating?
No, you're working outside. You want a beer. This is the beer for you.
This is a good beer.
Good thirst quenching beer.
I like it. It's called Bestie, and I'm also going to give it a 3.5.
We're tying it up. All right. We have dog activity, so we better shut down this podcast before it gets really bad. Hey, people, thanks again for joining us. If you're in Atlanta, hit us up. Say hi. We want to try to, at some point, get together with some of our Atlanta friends, maybe do an evening, just hang out.
I agree.
Have a beer or two here and there.
Let's do that.
Maybe next year we start a lot of that. But yeah, we just we want to know who's listening. So always drop us a line and let us know. And other than that, stay tuned for next week, and we'll try to do something a little bit Halloween-y. And please, get us some stories. We need some Halloween stories.
Yes, we do. Right away, and take care of yourself.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.